Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another edition of Top 5 Best PC Game Deals of the Week. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've updated this series, and I thought it'd be best to get back into the swing of doing these because next week we are going to have the Steam Summer Sale and expect a lot of videos covering that. That is going to be absolute madness, but for now, if you want some deals ahead of that, I have got you covered with 5 great deals. Steam's got a couple of good sales. There's a great deal on Xcom Enemy Unknown, the Complete Edition, and then GOG has got some great deals as a part of their summer sale, so I'll be covering that as well. To start things off over on Steam, I've got to give a mention to their Witcher series right now. Typical prices for all of the Witcher games, but you cannot go wrong with the prices of each of them. The Witcher 1 is at $1.49, The Witcher 2 is $2.99, and then The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition is $19.99. Now, I always recommend that if you're on a budget, start out with The Witcher 2. Why I say start out with The Witcher 2 and not The Witcher 1 is because The Witcher 1 hasn't aged all too well. The Witcher 2, I still find it very playable now in 2018. The Witcher 1, not so much. If you played through The Witcher 2 and you really enjoy it and you want to check out Witcher 1, by all means do so. If you want to jump right into The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, by all means do that as well. A fantastic open world RPG, and that Game of the Year edition for just $19.99 is just a superb deal. You get the base game, both of the expansions, and those expansions add around 30 to 40 hours of content, so they're pretty significant. And the base game is already north of 100 hours if you're looking to do everything. So even though it is a little bit expensive at $19.99 for the sheer amount of content you're getting, it is pretty ridiculous. Whatever the case may be, whether you get The Witcher 2 or you want to jump right into The Witcher 3, you cannot go wrong with those two games. Again, with The Witcher 1, pick it up if you play the other games and you enjoy them to the point where you want to know what happens in the first game, then by all means. But just to use that game as your initial impression of Witcher, I feel like that won't do the franchise justice now in 2018. Moving on from that, I also want to give a mention to Dying Light Enhanced Edition, a fantastic game developed by Techland. This game looks tremendous on PC, and Dying Light 2 was just announced at E3. Now, with Dying Light Enhanced Edition, you do get the base game and the following expansion. You also get the Season Pass content. So this is the version you absolutely should check out. Dying Light is a great game released a couple of years ago by Techland. Zombie survival game, some great parkour elements in there as well. Dying Light 2 looks to be a far bigger game than the first title, but considering that's probably still a year out, check out Dying Light for now. You won't be disappointed. Yes, at 67% off for $19.79. It is kind of expensive, but again, for a game like this, I think it is well worth it. Next up over at Game Billet, we have Xcom Enemy Unknown, the Complete Edition, 84% off for $7.99. What a deal this is. This includes XCOM Enemy Unknown, XCOM Enemy Within, as well as some other downloadable content. Now, of course, XCOM 2 is out, but XCOM 2 is a lot more expensive than XCOM Enemy Unknown, especially if you want the complete experience of that. There's an expansion out for that game as well, and it usually goes for like $40, $50 if you want both of those. So if you want the cheaper option, XCOM Enemy Unknown is still a great deal, and XCOM 2 really just builds upon Enemy Unknown. So if you want to start off with Enemy Unknown, it is a great option. It is the best experience if you play at a harder difficulty. That's where you're going to get the most joy out of it. But yeah, for $7.99, this is a great deal. A ton of content with the base game as well. The final two deals are going to come over from GOG.com, so these are DRM-free games, so just bear that in mind. First up, we have Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, 67% off for $9.89. This is one of the PC ports that I expected to be a pretty bad PC port, and then Capcom absolutely blew me away with how quality of a PC port this was, especially because it released at a budget price of $29.99, and it's a great game. Originally released on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, it was a great game on those platforms too, but it was really held back on the technical side of things. But on the PC, those shackles completely come off. A lot of people compare Dragon's Dogma to, say, Dark Souls, but it's a more open experience. It does have a similar level of challenge, however, a little bit frustrating at times, but overall, I would say a great open world RPG. And $9.89 is quite a good price for Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, and by the way, this is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, so you get the base game, Dark Arisen expansion. This was really the definitive version of Dragon's Dogma. They released Dragon's Dogma as the base game back in 2012, I believe, and then a year later, we got Dark Arisen, and then finally in 2016, the game made its way over to PC. And finally, also on GOG.com, want to give a mention to Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, 50% off for $9.99. This is a game that's really retained its value, but it's such a good game that I want to recommend it anyway. Of course, we did see gameplay of the sequel in Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I guarantee you that game is going to be phenomenal, but Ori and the Blind Forest, you can already play that, and it's a great game. For the style of game that it is, this artistic 2D platformer, $9.99 is actually a pretty steep price, especially given the fact that it released all the way back in April of 2016. However, this is one of the most artistic games, a great narrative attached on there as well. The gameplay's great, and you can run it on even lower end rigs, but it's a game that I would classify as a must play, especially if you're a fan of styles of games like this. it's one of the best of its kind, so I always like to give Ori and the Blind Forest a recommendation, especially because to PC gamers, I feel like this is a game that is still a little under the radar, and not everyone has given it a shot yet, but you absolutely should. That is going to conclude this video, guys. Some great deals this week ahead of the Steam Summer Sale. The Steam Summer Sale is going to be enormous, really the biggest sale of the year. We'll be covering that in depth next week, but for now, you have a couple of good deals to check out. So that is going to wrap up this one, guys. If you have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.